I'm Matthew Knowles, and you're checking out Willie D Live.
Welcome to Willie D Live. I am Willie D, and I'm about to go in with Music World Entertainment boss Matthew Knowles. But before I do, as always, we like to start the show off with some positive news. This news is coming to you via Pennsylvania, where a bride is walked down the aisle by the man who got her father's donated heart. Y'all think about that. A bride is being walked down the aisle by a man who received her father's donated heart. Jenny Stepien waited 10 years for this day. On the eve of her wedding day, she finally met the man who's now living with her father's heart. It's a bittersweet wedding story, a decade in the making, nearly 10 years after Jenny Stepien's father was murdered while walking home from his job as a head chef at a restaurant. Michael Stepien, 53, was cutting through an alley when he was robbed at gunpoint and shot. The man who received his donated heart traveled from New Jersey to Pennsylvania to walk his daughter down the aisle. The murder and the wedding happened within a 3-block radius in the town of Swissvale, Pennsylvania. Ms. Stepien, an elementary school teacher, said in an interview as she was about to board a plane for her honeymoon, "And I was just thinking, my dad is here with us, and this man is here with us because of us." The wedding took place on Saturday in the church in Swissvale, where Ms. Stepien's parents were married. Arthur Thomas and the bride finally met one day earlier when he suggested she grip his wrist where his pulse is strongest. "I thought that would be the best way for her to feel close to her dad," Mr. Thomas said. "That's her father's heart beating." At the church, the bride was photographed touching Mr. Thomas's chest. At the reception, they danced together and guests mingled with Mr. Thomas and his wife, Nancy. The two families say they want to keep in touch and will plan to get together somewhere down the road, maybe an event with a little less pressure. "I felt wonderful about bringing her dad's heart to Pittsburgh," Mr. Thomas said. "If I had to, I would have walked." Now that's some good news. For daily good news stories along with motivational and encouraging content that will uplift you, download the Good Spy app at Google Play and iTunes. Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Knowles is in the building.
What's up, Willie D? First of all, that was a very touching story. I was just sitting here thinking, as a father, it's just beautiful in so many ways. I'm sure her father would have been very proud and was proud, looking, sure, down from heaven to see his daughter walk with the man that had his heart inside of him.
When I heard that, I was like, man, that's a story.
Yeah.
So big shots out to Jenny Stepien, first of all, for allowing that to happen, and thanks to her father for donating. It just goes to prove how important, organ donation is.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Huge, big subject. So, man of the hour, Matthew Knowles in the building. Y'all make sure that y'all send your shots out. Y'all go ahead and ask Matt any kind of questions that you want to ask.
That don't mean I'm going to answer them.
Doesn't mean you're going to answer, but you can ask.
You can ask.
But you can ask questions. Doesn't mean he holds the right. He reserves the right to ask the question, answer any question that he wants to. Now, this is what I want to know, man. It's been a minute, man. I want to know what you've been up to.
Well, Willie D, life has been good for me. To see, first of all, Beyonce and all the tremendous success she's having. Unquestionably the #1 female artist in the world right now.
Right. Possibly ever.
Possibly ever.
Yeah.
And then also see Solange and all the success she's having as an entrepreneur, as an artist, a DJ. It just makes me very proud. So what have I been doing? What have Matthew Knowles? This is my 8th year teaching at Texas Southern University.
I didn't know, man, the time went by fast.
16, this is my 17th semester. Prior to that, I taught at Fisk University, where I graduated from. And
that's in
Nashville.
Okay.
And so we developed a music business program that's called ERM in the School of Communications, and that's Entertainment Recording Management. So I teach this semester Intro to the Recording Industry, and artist management. And I also teach on the graduate school level, media entrepreneurship at Texas Southern.
Man, you giving that game up like that, man, that artist management thing?
Yeah, everybody should be in that class. I have a large class, it's about 40 students, but we are looking to redo the whole program there, where you don't have to be in college to take my classes, which
right.
I think has been a mistake that we've done, and we're rectifying that. The next thing I've done is this in October, be the first year my book has been out, #1 bestseller. It's called The DNA of Achievers, 10 Traits of Highly Successful Professionals,
right.
The DNA of Achievers. And in that book, I have 30 guests that's writing 3 per chapter. Folks like the chairman of L'Oreal, Rick Smith here in Houston, the GM of the Texans, talking about building a team. Some very powerful people who's sharing their story of what it took to be an achiever. Since the last time I talked to you, the last 3 years, I've gotten my MBA, and I just recently got my PhD from Cornerstone.
Now, what's the purpose of that for you?
For me, the purpose of it.
You got your money. You're educated already. I mean, you don't need nobody. I mean, what you?
For me, I think you never stop learning.
Okay.
#1. Secondly, if I'm going to be in academia, I'm either going to be in it or be out of it. And it's important in academia that you have your MBA and PhD. Right. It's like with music. I quickly learned the game. And in academia, I quickly have learned the game. Right. And you've got to have those credentials to be accepted by the academia community. And I enjoy public speaking, so doing a lot of that all over the world. Seminars on how to get in the music industry, because a lot of people waste a lot of valuable time and money trying to get into the industry. You know that this better than anybody. Some don't need to be in the industry, or they need to be on the business side. And so we don't have enough black managers. We don't have enough business managers. We need to build the whole music arena, because it's not black anymore.
Now, getting back to the business side, I remember speaking on career day at my kids' school when we were living overseas in Azerbaijan, and that was my classes were packed. My rooms were packed for kids that wanted to hear me speak, and in the room next to me was a billionaire oilman, and the kids were trying to sneak out of his class to come into my class to hear what I had to say. And I'm like, man, y'all got it twisted. Y'all turned all the way around. I'm trying to sneak out this room I'm in to get over here in this room where this billionaire dude is, to hear what he got to say. And I was trying to explain to these kids is that, a lot of them, they want to be up in the front. They want to know what it's like to be the artist. They want to be in the front. They want to be up in the front. And I'm saying the people that's calling the shots, the people that has the longevity, are people like you, the people that are behind the scenes making things happen.
And let's not forget, the people that's making the money is behind the scenes.
Exactly.
The artist, it takes, God bless if you can get to the level of a Beyonce. That only happens every now and then. That's not normal. A lot of artists aren't making money. You know that, Willie D, how it's set up. It was set up from day one where they wouldn't make money selling records. Artists today only make money touring. That's your #1 way of making money today. And we look at streaming and what its effect has been on the industry, the decline of the CD, the decline at iTunes. It's an ever-changing industry. We have to have people that understand the business. You've been an artist, and you've been on the business side.
Right.
I would say that it's 70% business, 30% artistry.
I would agree. Now, let's take this thing all the way back, because me and you, we've been knowing each other for a few decades now. So let's take it all the way back, and I think it's important that we take this back so people can understand that you were not an overnight success. This is not something that just happened. I remember, you taking the girls to all these different kind of places. Anywhere that was a crowd, you took the girls and said, you had them perform. I remember you having them on the track running to get their wind, open their lungs up so they could sing. I remember, the going to the Kinko's and getting printing out, the material that you need.
I was living at Kinko's.
All of that stuff. Yeah. I remember all of those days. Even when I would be at your house sometimes, and the girls would be practicing. This is before all the money and the fame. And anytime that there was a break, Solange would step in for one of the girls. If one of the girls had to go to the restroom or something like that, Solange would step in, and she knew all the steps. Now, is this something that was planned? Were you grooming Solange all along to someday have a solo career, or were you trying to groom her to be in the group, or was this happenstance?
Well, that's a good question, but it's something you said earlier in the part of the question that's very important. Those people that are successful in life, and I don't care if it's music or a doctor, attorney, Indian chief, people that are highly successful had failure, and it took a while. And I talk about in my book, The DNA of Achievers, failure is an opportunity to grow, not a reason to quit. So I just want people to know that if you're going to get to anywhere, you're going to have failure. You cannot be successful without failure. So I just wanted to kind of put a side note to that, because I thought that was very important what you said. Back to Solange. Solange was always a very different kid. She demanded that you give her space and attention. And so, yes, I wanted Solange to be in Destiny's Child, but she was too young. Solange was a dancer for Destiny's Child. If you look at Survivor, you'll see she's on the front line, because Solange could really dance.
Right.
But she can also really sing, and even more importantly, she can really write. Because you look at those songs like Upgrade You, Get Me Bodied, Flaws and All. Solange wrote those songs. Solange wrote Kelly Rowland's.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Solange wrote 50% of almost 50% of Kelly Rowland's first album that sold 2 million records outside of America.
Wow.
So Solange has always been very talented and gifted, but she didn't want to be a part of the group, a member part, as she got older. That's why her first album is called Solo Star, because that's who she is. She's a solo star.
Now, let me ask you, where does this come from? Because, here's the thing. I remember the girls, as talented as they are, I've always seen them, I've always seen humbleness in them. I've always seen kindness, generosity in them. So when I hear these stories of people just pulling stuff out of their ass, saying things negative about anybody, any of your people in your family, I'm always taken aback. How did you and Tina make sure that the girls stay grounded with all of the access that they? I mean, they lived a pretty comfortable life, growing up.
You know what 3346 Parkwood looked like,
right?
You've been there many times.
Right.
We were upper income.
Exactly.
But to your question, Tina family in Galveston, very poor. My family in Gaston, Alabama, very poor, but very proud people who worked hard and instilled in she and I this value of just keeping it real,
right,
and treating everybody the same, and not treating the janitor any different than I treat the president. And that's the way I see the girls, is they stay grounded, stay humble, because their parents kept that. And a lot of people don't realize all the success we had way before there was a Beyonce.
Exactly.
And way before there was a Solange, and way before there was Destiny's Child. Folks don't know what the accomplishments that I've had and Tina's had.
Yeah. Now you come from corporate America. I mean, you like you say, you've had money for a long time. Maybe like I said, the kids grew up in an affluent neighborhood. Now, what I want to know is that how did you respond when people started saying you were out of your mind to leave corporate America, to leave your career, to basically help the girls realize their dreams and then to pursue their career?
That's not necessarily true. It sounds good, and I teach at Texas Southern. I call it the Jedi mind trick.
Okay.
I mean, it sounds great. He left his job. Most people get it wrong. They say I left Xerox. I worked 2 other positions after Xerox. I was one of the first blacks in America to sell CT and MRI scanners at Philips.
Okay.
I was one of the first blacks to be a neurosurgical specialist with Johnson & Johnson. So people don't even know the story accurately. People just kind of
a neurosurgical specialist.
In other words, I would go into a surgery. A neurosurgeon works on the spine and the brain, and the instruments that he or she used, I have to walk them through how to use it in surgery.
Okay. Nice. See, I didn't know that. So you maintained the job the whole time. How did you do that? Because I mean, every time I saw you, you was always doing something with the girls. Like you was always working. Pushing their careers along.
I transition. I tell everyone when I do a lot of public speaking, you have to transition and you have to have a plan. Failure to plan is planning to fail.
Right.
And so I always had a strategy and a plan on how I would transition into the music industry. And first and foremost, I did not get in the music industry because I wanted my kid to be in the music industry. I got in the music industry because music has always been a passion of mine.
Okay.
Always have been a passion, childhood. And Tina actually was in a band. And can sing very well.
Is that right?
A band in Galveston.
I gotta look that up. What's the name of the band?
I don't even remember.
I want to look that up.
But
See Tina doing her thing.
But that was always a passion, and that story is somewhat accurate. But you know who my first artist, the first artist I signed, the first artist I got a major record deal was not Destiny's Child. It was Lil O.
Yeah, right.
So people don't even have the story correctly.
Right.
Music world, Lil O's single "Can't Stop," which you were in the video.
Right.
If you remember shooting pool.
Right.
What was the name of that club? There on Richmond.
Was that
Jamaica?
Was that Jamaica?
It was Jamaica,
okay,
Jamaica.
Yeah.
You in the video,
right.
so go check out "Can't Stop," Lil O, and you'll see Willie D shooting pool with the boys. But it features who on that song? A group called Destiny.
Right.
Then the first name of Destiny's Child was Destiny, and on Lil O's record it's featuring Destiny. And we found later that there's a gospel group in Mississippi, and we couldn't get the trademark. And so that's when I had to name the group. Tina named it Destiny, and then when we couldn't get the trademark, I had to rename the group Destiny's Child.
Yeah. And
Destiny's Child.
Right. Yeah. Look, let me tell you something, man. It's crazy because, and what the group that had the name that was in Mississippi, where are they?
I have no idea, man.
That's my point. Y'all stop trying to use people names and stuff. Yeah, these names, these fly names, and y'all ain't doing nothing with them, man. Runs me hot, man. And even some of you out there, you ain't got enough creativity to just use your own name. I got people out there trying to use Willie D, man. I mean,
I believe that. I mean,
it's ridiculous, man. But y'all gotta understand though is that when I catch up with you, I'm gonna beat you up. I want you to know that. If I catch your name, you're using the name Willie D. If I catch you anywhere, I'm gonna beat you up.
Yeah, that sound like the Willie D I used to.
Yeah, you dig what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I go there, man.
That sound like the Willie D I know.
Sometimes I have to go back there, But
sometimes we all have to go.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's y'all better know. Y'all better know it's real in the field. Look here, man. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back and we're gonna open the floor up for some questions from my Facebook Live people. You checking out Willie D Live.